Hi, my name is Eddie C, and welcome to my positive podcast. I'll bring you positive stories of people from all walks of life because everyone has a story to tell.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie C, and this is MPP, my positive podcast. This is a show where I give my guests a chance to tell about themselves because everyone has a story to tell. We're sitting here in a lovely location called Serafin here in Antwerp, Belgium, and I have a very special guest today. We go back almost 15 years, and actually, we just met each other face to face for the first time yesterday when she came here to Antwerp to be on the show. Please welcome my guest, Miss Samantha Till. And Samantha is, she's an actress, singer, dancer, and you've been busy since you were 5 years old. But once you tell and you were living in Tenerife for a long time as well, and you've been in Los Angeles, but we'll get to all of those things later. Can you just tell my audience a little bit more about yourself?
Well, ever since I was 5 years old, I've been everything around dancing, singing, and acting. I made my own shows every Christmas, Santa Claus, birthday, whatever. I had a reason to make a show. I made a show with my little brother, who didn't really want to do it, but I just, pushed him like, come on, I need somebody. And I was into ABBA and I had my first record of ABBA when I was 6 years old, Dancing Queen, So I was always practicing for ABBA,
Right, yeah.
And and then when I became a teenager, it was the same. Even though I had to go to school, but my world was dancing, singing, and acting. That was my world. Yes.
Alrighty. But you, at one point, you decided to study. You went to a university or something. Was that in America?
No. I went. What do you mean, like school?
When you finished with your high school,
yes.
you decided to go.
No, I was an au pair.
Okay.
I was an au pair,
Alrighty.
and there I took a lot of dance classes. I was in Virginia, where you're from too, and you had Fairfax, and there was a dance studio, and I took everything classic, jazz, private tap classes. So that was So that was like a dream come true because I landed in Kennedy Airport.
Right.
So and for 4 days we had like orientation. So our hotel was behind Broadway. So I was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. So in the time that you decided to become a dancer, you was actually, like you said, you was this au pair. I think we got a lot of disturbances right now. It's no problem with our technician? Okay. Alrighty. So anyway, there was this massive change in your life, which was in your late teens when you came to America?
I was 21.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So you're just a young adult, as we would say.
Yes, I was 21. So
Alrighty.
I never went alone on holiday without my parents, and then I just decided to move across the ocean. And,
wow.
Yes.
But you were not only in Virginia, you also went to LA, right?
Yes, I went to Virginia, and I went to Chicago a few months.
Okay.
And I went to LA, and I loved LA.
Okay.
So.
But you went there voluntarily to achieve something, or it was just to visit?
Well, when I lived in Holland, I met a lot of choreographers and dancers from Los Angeles, and you had a dance studio there, Millennium, or you still have it, Millennium, and
Right.
Debbie Reynolds. And I was like, I want to go there, but I had no idea how because, it's expensive there. Then, I don't know if you saw this movie with Cameron Diaz, I think, The Holiday. They swap, Cameron Diaz comes to London and Kate Winslet goes to LA.
Right.
And it was similar. My aunt from LA wanted to come to Holland, one of the family in their house, and I could stay in their house. And it was all right, So I went there, and it was for me like a dream come true because I was taking dance classes from the best
Well, how was your experience in America? Going there, you know, young, 21, going to this big country.
Uh-huh.
And how did that have an effect on your life, uh, coming from a little small country like Holland?
Uh-huh. I loved it. It just felt like no ceiling. I just loved it. Everything was big and wide, and you know, it gave me space. I just loved it. Just I could just sit in the car and just drive, and yeah, I still until this day I just really I love America. So I do remember the first time I came in the supermarket. There were so many products I couldn't choose. I couldn't choose, you know. And I was like, okay, this is typically America. So yes.
And you didn't have the willpower to want to stay there?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
you
yes,
did.
absolutely. But it's of course it's with the papers. So for me, that's the only reason why I live in Europe. Otherwise, I would be living there for
In the
sure.
States.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in the States for how many years?
Not years.
Oh,
I
okay.
was 1 year in Virginia, and then I was a few months in Chicago, and then I was 3 months
In
on
LA.
how you say this, on a tourist visa.
Yeah, on a tourist, yeah.
Yes, and I really didn't want to leave, but yeah, that was yeah.
Of course, that was at a different time, but you want to do that now.
I was,
Because if you're looking at the way things have changed.
that was 2009. Yeah.
So
yeah.
compared to then, how would you still want to live there now?
Yes, I still want to live there because I don't know. I just California. I love California. I just felt like
Okay,
at
but
home
California is only one part of the
there.
States.
I know. I love California. If I want to live there, it's gonna be.
It's going to be
gonna
California,
be there.
which
yeah.
is usually a choice of a lot of artistic people.
Yeah. What I loved about Los Angeles, because I have people who visit Los Angeles and they say, I didn't really like it. They like more San Diego or San Francisco. But as an artist, everything there is creative. You know, even the person who sells meat, he's actually a scriptwriter.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
like everything breathes. If you see La La Land, you know, it's really like that idea. Like it's for me, it's like one. Everywhere is studios and
Right.
TV shows you can visit. So,
But the realistic part is that it's not the full picture of America.
I know it's not. No, America. A lot of people when they say to me like, "Oh, I don't like America," or whatever, and I'm like, "But you cannot really say that's a typical American person or that's typical American because it's so big.
Right.
And the people in California are totally different than the people in the East Coast. So
Absolutely.
so it's you cannot really say it. So when I say America, maybe I should be more specific. California.
Okay.
I love California.
Okay, so we're going to fast forward to the time that you ended up living for quite a while in Tenerife.
Yes, 8 years.
So how did that come about?
I always went on holiday, and it made me feel a little bit like California, you know. And at one moment, I was like, okay, I just gonna try it, and I end up doing fun things like singing in hotels and having acting jobs, and so it was like, yes, always sunshine and the ocean. So this is how I ended up staying there. Just with one suitcase, I went.
So you left. You went there actually on a vacation, and you decided you wanted to go back.
I went there a lot of vacations.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it took me some time to say, okay, I really want to
wanted
stay.
go. Okay.
And at one moment, I was like, if I'm not going to do it now, it's never going to happen. And I went, and I stayed.
All right. So you have this show that you did together with a colleague of yours. Which
Yes, I was singing
something-
alone. I was doing shows alone, and I was doing an ABBA tribute. I was Agneta, and it was such a fun and easy show because almost everybody loves ABBA, you know, ABBA. So yeah.
Okay, all
so
right.
yeah.
And then you, I remember a while back when we spoke before we, actually in the beginning when we were in contact via Facebook. I remember you mentioned to me that you had a couple of years ago you did this acting. Your acting started to become more prominent for you, And you were in was it a German series?
Yes, a German series.
Oh,
And I actually don't speak so good German, but I managed to, with my best German, to do the audition really good.
Yeah.
And I got the part in a German krimi.
All
And I
right.
thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's a comedy. And then I saw the script, and then I saw I had to cry. So, but I did it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was so happy I cried. So yes, a German.
And have any other things come out of that?
Yes, I also auditioned for a Netflix series, and I went in for another role, and then I knew the casting director, and she said, "Aren't you also a singer? Because we need somebody for the animation versus scene." And I said, "I was actually coordinator of the animation."
Right.
And then I did 2 auditions in one casting, and then the next day I had to come back. And until then, I didn't know it was a Netflix series. And then I had my fitting, and then it was so much fun. But I do remember I went on set, and I didn't have a script. And I went on set, and they say, "Okay, just go and present the bingo." And there was like about 70 extras watching me, and I was like, if I'm gonna block now, nothing gonna happen today. So
Right.
I really, but in action, I was just myself and presented the bingo.
What kind of roles do you like to play? I mean, what is your, let's say, if you had the opportunity to say play a role, particular role that fits you completely,
I love-
what would that be?
I love comedy. I love fantasy movies. I love movies that are in another time with costumes and that kind of movies. I really, really, really love. Like
Okay, but is there a particular type
Character?
of character?
it's interesting to play something that's far away from me. I would love to play a bitch or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that's not me.
Yeah.
But I also would like comedy. I really like like funny. But I don't really care. Just all kinds of different interesting characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I always have a subject for each of my guests that comes on the show, and for you, I chose the subject of serenity, and I would like to know over the years, what has serenity been for you?
When I felt serenity, when I felt that, I felt it when I was in California. I remember I came back from an acting class, and I was driving in the car, and I saw downtown LA, the lights, and I just felt so at peace, And when I'm in the ocean, I just feel at peace. And one more time, when I went to see the stars on the mountain on Tenerife, it's like we are so small. If you see it, there are thousands of stars, and it just makes me like, wow, this is so magical. And then the Earth is just a little planet in between all those millions of stars. So that gave me
Yeah, and touching back on that was one thing I remember you mentioned to me as well. Is you also did a translation
yes.
of a book
Yes.
from English to Dutch.
Yes.
What was the title of the book again? That was,
Become Your Own Business Guru in English, and in Dutch is Word je eigen zakenguru.
okay.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So I
That's-
did it for my friend Gary Queen. I met him when I was in LA, and I translated a book. Yes, and my English and Dutch are both now better because it was more difficult than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was, but I loved it.
Right.
Doing that. So yes.
That's
I did
fantastic.
that.
Now, getting back to my serenity question again, you mentioned a lot about the outside world giving you a certain amount of serenity. But how is it inside yourself? Let's say without all of the nature around you, how do you find your peace of serenity from within?
from within? That's a good question, because I go into nature or whatever. So, well, I do meditate. That's what I'm doing actually all my life. And when I'm very stressed, for example, one of the things that gives me serenity is that I put my hands on my heart and take a deep breath, and that gets me centered and feeling serenity. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Because you have a very active lifestyle.
Yeah.
And are those moments where you can say, I need to just break away? Yeah, because there's a lot of noise in the world
I know.
that we have nowadays.
I also like to take a warm, hot bath. That can just totally relax me. The water and the warmth, you know. And then I just like to go underwater, you know. So that's something that can really gives me serenity. Water, I love water, you know.
Okay.
So yeah. So yes.
All right. I just want to ask one more question before we finally close off. How would you tell people, young people today, how to maybe go about portraying serenity from out your vision in this world we're living at today?
I think first of all, because there's so much with the social media, you know, that you bombarding you, not compare yourself with other people, because there's only one you. I think this is why a lot of young people get stressed, because they feel they're not good as, you know, there's only one you, and not compare yourself with other people and follow your own joy, and because only you can walk your own path, you know. So maybe it looks on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, oh my gosh, these people are so happy, whatever, you know, but that has nothing to do with you. So not comparing yourself with other people, and listen to your own GPS. that's something I think is very important, and it's challenging because when we grew up, we didn't have to do with the social media, you know. It's challenging, I think, for the young generation. So I think that's it. Just be your own unique self.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and
thank you. And it's great to finally meet you face to face.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, that was very nice. Yeah, and I wish you a lot of success with the things that you're going to be doing in the future.
Thank you so much.
You're very outgoing, adventurous person, and I think there's a lot that's still going to come up your path over the years.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let's talk about serenity. The word itself has a certain magic to it, a certain easiness. Serenity is about not worrying about the problems that you may face on a day-by-day basis. It's actually looking at them and saying, I'll find a solution. And in doing that, you become more relaxed, more confident. You become more connected to those things that are more important to you, which are most of the time the little things. It's just like getting up in the morning and exercising and doing your meditation and just being friendly the whole day. I think when you wake up with a smile on your face, that puts out serenity, and you go to sleep with a smile on your face, showing how grateful you are with the serenity that you've had. You'll have a wonderful day, each and every day. So in those words, stay positive.
Dit
is een productie van Antwerp Podcast Service.